everybody. I'm super excited. I've got my great friend Effie Santos is on here. We've known each other for a couple years now. I'll spare you some of that story, but I've worked with Effie in a million different networking groups, and she's one of the leaders, I think, in the nonprofit and philanthropic space, which is an area that I've played around a little bit. So we've crossed paths a bunch, but she made a big change just recently, really. It's not been that long, actually. Well, maybe it has been, Effie. How long has Red Root existed at this point? So I'm trying to think back.
Yeah, so almost a year and a half.
Okay, so I was just thinking time is flying fairly quickly, and I feel like time just stopped for the last 60 days for us, but it was a big leap. So I think everybody always likes to hear, where did you, let's talk about your personal story first, because I know that has a lot to do with Red Root. So the name is interesting. I think a lot of people might look at that and go, okay, what is that? So Effie, tell us a little bit about you, what the transition is, and what Red Root Strategies is.
Perfect. Well, thanks for having me on today, Dennis. Well, after 25 years in banking, in retail leadership and commercial banking, honestly, I came to a point in my life that I just wanted to make more impact in the world. And the platform of loans and deposits just wasn't enough for me. And that's where I really, for myself, took the power of the pause to figure out what is the next step. And that took about 6 months or so, and then Red Root was born. And I think through my experience of banking, I worked with a lot of nonprofits. My heart's been always supporting our nonprofits, women business owners, and of course, hearing the stories of companies. So I saw the disconnect that companies and causes had, and I knew they had to collaborate more to create sustainability within both sectors. And that's how Red Root was born. Just taking my experience and the love of working with business owners and nonprofits. And red is heart and the root are the connections. And that's how the name came about.
Well, I jokingly, every time your name would come up, they're like, oh, Effie. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I should know Effie. And it's because Effie's connected to everybody. So I think the Red Root's very appropriate. So, and I know you did a lot in the banking area and you were helping a lot of people in that space. So I know this was a big leap, but I think it's necessary. Like there's a lot going on. I see a lot of companies that try and go into this space and want to help and want to connect and want to do good things. But it's always like piecemealed, or it's maybe not a priority all the time, but some of the time. So I think there's clearly some big demand. So I know one of the things that we talked about is, let's talk about why you're so brilliant, but it's mostly, I know we were joking about that, but you actually, this is like one of my bucket list things. Like who doesn't want to be on stage and do a TED Talk? So I'm sharing the screen right now. Can you tell us a little bit about, I think obviously with social distancing, this event didn't happen. So what were you going to cover here, and what, not to give it away, but what was the topic here, and what's going to happen with this event if someone wants to see you on stage?
So the event, we just found out today, was rescheduled to October 30th.
That's exciting.
So that's great. And the event sold out fairly quickly. So I think as of today, there's still some tickets available. So ironically, the title of my TED Talk is The Power of the Pause, and it is really about my journey of transitioning to my own business with Red Root. So ironically, we're in a global pause right now.
Yeah, who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
It's, there's certain things, as much as you try and plan for everything, I don't think anybody thought global pandemic was going to be at the level that it is. But so to that point then, why do you think this is such an important time for the nonprofits and the businesses that you've been working with and some of your clients?
So I think right now, we work independently with nonprofits, helping them to really strategically align with companies that align with their mission and have common threads to create those long-term partnerships. And we're helping companies create sustainability within their business through their employees, retaining their talent, they're deepening their relationships with their client as well, and also connecting to the community. Right now, I think between both sectors, I would say two things. They're stuck and the lack of funding. So I think through being stuck, we become paralyzed, and a lot of companies and nonprofits have had to pivot quickly. They realized maybe their technology wasn't up to speed. That should have, something they planned 20 years ago to do. Everyone had to act quickly and do something.
Yeah.
I believe we're to the point now where it's the funding, right? From companies, from their clients, consumers, whether it's selling to businesses or consumers, they have a lack of funding along with nonprofits. But I ask the question a lot of times, Dennis, can you imagine if all of our nonprofits shut down? What would that do to our community?
Yeah, it would be brutal. I think the generation, I think right after ours, right, maybe not even right after, maybe one more, the next gen or two, are very much mission aligned. They expect companies to be heavily involved in this space. My son has made the comment that we know the world's kind of screwed up, but we expect to leave it a better place than we found it. So I think that's really important to the generations coming, where a lot of us just thought it was a nice thing to do. The next, if you want to keep good talent, especially the younger talent, this is an area that you're going to have to be strategically focused in. And there is a lot of work that happens. A lot of the nonprofits that I've seen, especially with food and different things, there's a lot of people really challenged right now. And so some of the food banks and things are doing really life-saving work. It's not just nice work, it's life-saving work.
That's exactly right. And when we look at what's happening today through the Feeding Tampa Bay's Metropolitan Ministries and a lot of our other local nonprofits, who's funding them? Their businesses, their individuals. People are stepping up. And without the collaboration between both sectors, we couldn't create the impact or save lives, like you're saying.
Well, I've worked in a couple of different areas, right, with Dream Racer, and then now we do so much with Autism Shifts. Big fan of what their work is. I know they've had some unique challenges through all this. So what are some tips for organizations like that you think would be helpful, that might make a big difference right now?
For nonprofits, I think is being very transparent, and communication is key right now. So I've had some of my nonprofit clients call me and worry about, my board wants me to call our donors and ask for money, and I'm not comfortable doing that. I said, call your donors to see how they're doing, because the state that we're in right now with the pandemic, everybody is being affected, and there's so many unknowns, from companies to nonprofits to individuals. So just pick up the phone and call your donors, call your prospective donors as well, and see how they are doing and how you can work together. Maybe there's something that they need that your organization can provide to them.
Just be a real person, see how your clients, and see, I think we instinctively do that for people we care about. So clearly it seems like a no-brainer, but there's so many different things. I mean, there's people teaching from home. I feel like I'm constantly trying to figure out, when are the dogs going to interrupt my next video conference? So, and I know I'm not the only one that's dealing with that, but, and I definitely have just kind of first world issues, but there's a lot of people dealing with a lot of different challenges. And so at the end of the day, we don't think of everything. So I think that's sound advice. It's, we're all human. I think this is impacting everybody at some level or another, and it's starting to wear on all of us. I keep referring to I've had people ask me, Dennis, what do you think, or how do you feel? And I'm like, I am getting tired of Groundhog Day. I feel like it's the same routine. And I just constantly question, how productive are we actually being? But it has opened up some opportunities to kind of get stories like yours out into the community, which I very much appreciate you taking the time. So, all right, so let's talk. You've mentioned to me a couple of times about sustainability. That means different things to different companies and different people. So let's talk about how this plays out with Red Root. Like, what does sustainability mean to you and your clients?
I think overall sustainability is long-term partnerships and very strategic partnerships, which turn into long-term partnerships. So there needs to be a plan in place for that and the right connections made. And that is the core of Red Root. From a business perspective, we have business sustainability, corporate sustainability, social impact, corporate social responsibility. There's a lot of terms used within, But I think it comes down to, from a business, to their triple bottom line, and that's about the people, the planet, and the profit. And so that sustainability for a business is within its organization, along with connecting to the community on those factors. And from a nonprofit standpoint, sustainability is keeping those long-term partnerships with their donors, with their leadership, having financial security to fulfill their mission. So overall, that partnership between companies and causes, when we bring them together, it creates sustainability within each organization.
I've always loved your where business meets purpose. And I think we're at a spot where a lot of people are talking about we're all in this together. That includes the nonprofits. We need them. We need every aspect of business to kind of come through this. But even if we weren't dealing with this crisis, right, those strategies, that sustainability, those factors, having business that does have a purpose, I think is important universally. So I think it's a very good topic. It's something that I wanted to help get your message out, because I think you do great work. You have a big heart. Everybody that knows you, I don't know that I've met anyone that doesn't think you're amazing. So I think that's fantastic. So the last thing is, I know you guys are talking about right now your Reimagine Experiences. You want to talk about that for a second? I hope I didn't screw that up.
No, that's okay. Just a little bit. You got it, Dave.
Okay.
So yes, Redroot and Kingham Signature Events have partnered up to help companies and nonprofits reimagine their experiences. So from a nonprofit aspect, we know a lot of them have canceled their events, whether it's a gala, a music event, concerts, one-off events, because we're being socially distant right now. So we've created packages and experiences at different levels to help reimagine fundraising for nonprofits. And it includes a streamlined platform. So if you have 100 people, 1,000 people or more, we're able to create that event for you and able to have that corporate engagement. And I think that's between both of our companies coming together. It's very powerful, because the number one need right now, I think it's 92% of nonprofits we need fundraising and we don't know how to do it. So we've come together to provide that solution. And from a company standpoint, getting their message out to the community, to their employees, to their clients of what good they're doing, and being relevant right now and also transparent, we're able to help them through these streamlining events, through conferences, things like that, to continue their engagement.
So you have the ability to do it, whether it's online or face-to-face in the future. Hopefully we get back to that, and you can help them navigate whatever that needs to look like, because there is a lot of unknowns. So kind of a plan A, plan B approach right away. And I think it is a great opportunity. I'm seeing where a lot of this has got a much broader reach, right? Where not everybody can go on a Thursday night to a gala event or, but you do have people that still want to be involved. And so from a timing and efficiency standpoint, you can bring in a much bigger audience, I think, in a pretty short period of time. So that's great. So if they wanted to reach out to you, we've got Redroot Strategies is up here on the shared screen. Is there anything that you want to share with them before we wrap up?
I would just say, everyone, just give ourselves some grace right now. We have up days and down days, but to really lean on each other for support, whether it's to collaborate with one another and to work with one another, like you and I do, Dennis, to collaborate and pivot our businesses so we continue doing good for our community and for ourselves.
Well, I think it's going to be, your role is going to be bigger and bigger and more important in the future. You know, at Hart & Dynamics, we're always trying to do anything we can to attract and retain talent. Even in a 15% unemployment market, I can say, if you're an employer, you still want to keep your best people and you want to attract the best people, right? So employee retention, I think, is still a big deal. And so this is becoming, I find, every single day a bigger issue. So I appreciate your partnership and what you're doing and how you help in the community. And if there's anything we can do to help you, just let us know. So thank you, Effie. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate you as well.